A picture of where the nation Ghana stands. The electricity supply situation and the prices of fuel products are in Focus on Ghana. Focus on Ghana, right next. Good evening. First, the President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has delivered the State of the Nation address in Parliament, which the minority boycotted. Secondly, Ghana is facing critical challenges in the area of energy, notably in electricity supply and petroleum. These are in Focus on Ghana. Once again, good evening. Ghanaians have faced erratic and unstable electricity supply coupled with generational problems. Fuel prices have been reviewed upwards, ranging between 17 and 50%. This reduces significantly the subsidy that government provides on the fuel products. There have been mixed reactions to this, and some have cited the insensitivity of government bringing the policy review at this time of the year. What effect this will have on an economy like that of Ghana and its political and international implications vis-a-vis the challenges the electricity supply situation in Ghana poses will be the focus of our discussion on the program today. My guests are, to my immediate right, Nana Yalbobu, a member of the CPP UK and Ireland. Next to him, Frank Anderson of the NDC UK and Ireland. And on my left, we have Andy Osu of the NPP UK and Ireland. We'd also like you to join us on telephone number 0207-501-7701 with your comments and contributions. You can also email us at focusonghana@voxafrica.com and via Facebook, Focus on Ghana. The State of the Nation. In fulfillment of Article 67 of Ghana's Constitution, which requires the President of the Republic to deliver to Parliament a message on the state of the nation at the beginning of each session of Parliament, the President has outlined what his plans are for the next year, and he has also outlined some policies for the country. His speech was titled Opportunities for All. He touched on education, health, energy, and good governance. Here are a few excerpts.
We will prioritize and expand access to education at all levels. We will aggressively address quality enhancement and outcomes at all levels by putting in place measures to monitor quality of education service delivery, especially teaching and learning at the various levels of our educational system. We will reward outstanding educational service providers to boost morale in the sector and work to improve gender parity in education. We will encourage community participation in the management of schools. We will work towards standardization and affordability in school fees. We shall expand training of kindergarten teachers to ensure that our children all over the country acquire basic numeracy and literacy skills before they start primary education. It is also the objective of this government to eliminate the remaining schools under trees by the end of 2016. We intend to enforce compulsory basic school attendance and deepen pro-poor interventions like the distribution of free school uniforms, free exercise books, and free laptop computers.
Well, the President of the Republic. Frank, let me start with you. What did you make of the speech?
Well, first of all, greetings to your viewers across the world. It's a pleasure to always be here. I think this is exactly what we needed at this stage of our development. I think that, based on the fact that there's only a certain amount of time he's allowed in Parliament to speak, this will be the short version of the State of the Nation's address. I think there's a more broader version. But I think it touched on the majority of the things that are affecting Ghana. It touched on energy, education, talked about healthcare, all the needed investment that needed to be done, moving forward as a lower middle income country. He touched on virtually all the things. The things I also need to mention is we are where we are today. We need to be asking ourselves, where do we want to be in the next 5 to 10 years? And all those questions are being answered in the State of the Nation's address. We have to look at where we are today. If we're looking for investment in education, health, roads, energy, what do we have to do as a country, looking particularly at the point that even today, the UK government, I've been hearing publications that 10 billion of aid to poor countries will be diverted into Ministry of Defense. It means that our dependence on aid will be drying up. And so we have to find means of raising...
His speech really tell us what state we are in now?
Of course, like I said before, he wouldn't have all the time to speak on all the various sectors. It would have been shorter version of everything because of time. But obviously, the detail of what we all know the economy is. We all know Ghana is a lower middle income economy. We all know we have challenges with energy. We all know we have challenges with educational investment and so on and so forth. But beyond that, what are the answers? What do we need to do differently from what we've done in the past? And for me, that is what was translated in the State of the Nation's address. Obviously, there's more room for us to look to the future. What we need, what the kind of investments that will bring the result. Ghanaians are asking questions. This is the time everybody seems to be more energized in demanding accountability from, government. And so all these things were translated into the speech.
Now, let me ask you. You sat through the speech, listened from A to Z. Did you find out what the state was from the speech? Are we giving the right picture as it is?
To start with, I would like to say evening to our listeners and wherever they are. Was it the State of the Nation? I will ask in the first place, because what happened today looked like when they were launching their manifesto. If you are to ask me if I've learned anything about the state of Ghana today from what the president did today, I would say no. But I've learned more about their manifesto promises than when they even launched it. Because everything that the president said is about their manifesto. What they will do, we will do, we will do. You see, that aspect of the state, I mean, whenever they are saying something, we will do, we will do, we will do. NDC has been in power for the longest in our history as a nation. So at the moment, they are behaving as if this is the first time ever winning election to be in government, which is very appalling and below standard. Because the president did not assure me as a Ghanaian of what he's been doing. Because you've been in power not from January, but before January. And before January, you were the vice president who was more or less the president, because the president, we all know that he was not really there with us. I mean, so you were the one in charge. So if you are now coming to tell us, we will do this, I'll do this, we'll do this, I'm sorry. That is not good enough.
Having gone through that, and by the constitutional provision, you're supposed to tell us what we are doing or where we are, and tell us where he's taking us to.
What we are doing, what he did not tell us what the government is doing, because even the fuel issue, he never really said anything about the fuel issue. The energy, we are going to add this, we are going to add that. He told Ghanaians in his campaign that it is going to be, by November. So we were expecting Dumso to finish by November. Now you are telling us something, what is that? Greco is telling us something else. VRA is giving us another day. Who do we believe? If the president doesn't know what is happening, and people are coming up with figures and times, different times, then we are in a sorry state in the country. Even the issue of the TOR, Alex Mould last week told us that TOR
Alex Mould is the chief executive of the NPP.
He told the whole world that government has no business in running a refinery. Now the government is saying today, the president is telling us today that they are going to bring TOR back to its former glory. Okay. There's so much confusion in the government, if you ask me.
Let me quick, you've touched on the energy, which is one area I'll be looking at this evening. But Andy, from the side of the NPP, one, you boycotted. Two, most of your MPs said they didn't listen. But those of you outside, you listened. The president told us what the nation is looking at us. And your position.
You shouldn't even be commenting on it. You shouldn't even be commenting on it.
Let me find out why did you boycott? Is it not one of the issues that will stay with us even if things change?
First and foremost, let me greet your viewers and those of other people listening to you forever they are, cherished listeners as well. I must say that I'm not entirely convinced that there was a State of a Nation's address today. Because when I was coming, I did a little search as to what goes into a State of a Nation's address. Just Google it. And 5 things came up. And I want to measure that test. And then it will justify whether or not it's worth it for our parliamentarians to sit in parliament at all. 1 is to describe how the chief executive, that is in this case the president, met the state or met the organization. 2, improvements made so far. 3, outcomes as a result of the improvements that have been made. And 4, opportunities and challenges ahead, a forecast. And 5th, goals set and timelines.
Didn't we find all these in the speech?
This is the speech I have with me here. If I am the only person reading, you may say that, well, because I'm being partisan, I'm an NPP person, so I don't find anything in it. The speech in itself is entitled Opportunities for All. It doesn't even tell you that it's a State of a Nation. Now, let's go by sector in the state. Let's take security, for instance. Tell me the state of our security in terms of what it was, what improvements you have made, what outcomes have we achieved, opportunities, and do you find this in here? No. Let's talk about the economy. Just this week, we're hearing all sorts of stories that we should increase petrol because we have to remove subsidies, killing our economy. What is the state of the economy? Manufacturing is collapsing because of, I can agree with you more. Doomso. What is the state of our economy? What is the hole, the deficit that we have? How much do we have so far? Because we've been hearing different figures. What improvements have been made? Outcomes of that, opportunities and challenges ahead, and timelines that you are going to fix the problem. Go out, talk about different things, law and order, talk about energy, talk about all the sectors.
But His Excellency touched on energy.
Can I finish?
One brief moment. He touched on energy and gave some timelines that by 2016 we're going to have 5,000 megawatts of power. That will solve our problem and have reserve.
Do you know the beautiful thing about State of Nation? The article in the Constitution demand that the president comes at opening of each parliament. That's every year. To come and tell us. So it sets you short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. That is why I can't agree with Nanaya more. That is it's a rhetoric of the campaign promises. What was in the campaign promise? They said the energy for us in 2016. So what exactly is our state of the nation? Let me conclude quickly.
10 seconds.
I just want to go 10 seconds. The state of the nation, in terms of how it is doomsor, as we are talking about, is water, which I don't know. We are not sure whether the treatment of that water is they are using wrong chemicals.
Well, gentlemen, let me just take a quick break. And when we come back, there will be more on Focus on Ghana.